lucky enough had a phone call, so it's literally come and gone. So hopefully we shall be uninterrupted. It's going to be a quickie. I will be back again on Friday or prior to Friday. Super chat questions can be asked at the end of the video, so I'll give you a heads up when I'm almost finished, and then we'll wait for the moderators to jump in. So those of you that are moderators, thank you very much. Those of you that are new and don't know, I'm a psychic medium, I'm a twin flame, I cover the astrology, moon energy, and we have a holistic channel here, so we do things from a holistic approach. How are we all doing? Getting the cards ready, I'll select a ruin. Now, currently, I do feel a lot of creative energy coming through, and it is after the new moon in Pisces. Now, some of you may be pretty fatigued, but you're going to find that the feminines, as per se, are getting these creative juices going at the moment, and you've kind of got this energy where you're wanting to pour your energy into something. You might be wanting to, yeah, I've been having that too. So it is crown chakra still, so you're still going to need to keep your fluid up. If it's attachment energy and it's fear-based frequency, balance your lower chakras. It will pass. There has been a lot of purging, but, you know, the process to get out of that is to move into mission, you know, to have purpose, so to speak. But, you know, allow those things to come up. It's perfectly natural. Look, usually during a new moon, it's beautiful things, right? But due to the fact that with any new beginning, we have an ending, we were psychologically looking at the past. So that might have been for a lot of us very disheartening. And you might have also got, a lot of perspectives to do with connections and relationships. That was quite emotional to look at. And some of those things could have been from years gone by, you know. Hi, Dale. So we're going to tune into it and we're going to see what's coming up. I do feel a huge shift coming, but there's definitely still a bit of protective energy coming from divine feminine. You're open to it, but you're not, and we'll see what's coming in anyway. Some of you are just purely, you know, open in your life. You're open to new beginnings. Others are quite in the thick of it, but it's because you're balancing that empath energy. And when you're balancing that empath energy, you can tend to, from the twin flame connection, get a lot more triggers because you empathically feel their energy, and it's almost like you're turning into what would I call it? A psychic medium. So initially, you know, the number synchronicities that you see, and those are the videos that I'm working on behind the scenes at the moment. You know, the information videos. When you're having the numbers, it's because you ask source for you know, a sign. Show me a sign. And you got your signs and then you're attacked by them, right? Masculine. And then after that, when you go into hermit mode and you're in separation, you're integrating, you're developing your psychic gifts. So your psychic attacks are more heavier, and definitely at the moment masculines are very much, you know, going, I wouldn't say dark night of the soul. We're facing our shadow, but it's very fatiguing. And I'm going to sneeze. I've been cleaning a lot as well. Beg my pardon. Okay, Saturn and Capricorn, which is interesting with this ruin. What's coming through is, while we had the retrograde with Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, a lot of us were looking at those external connections, how they were affecting us, how they affected the connection. Now where you're coming to, it's almost like you're looking, you might have seen blocks in your own personal life, and that is part of the twin flame journey. By adhering to those, you remove blockages and you have movement on your twin flame path. So we are tuning into the energy connectedly, but we're also tuning into the sacral chakra of potentially the blockages that are happening in your 3D life to get that ball moving. Now, this ruin relates to the constellation Capricorn, which is, it's accountability, but it's devil energy in the tarot. Saturn, the Lord of Restrictions. Saturday, black, earth and fire. Okay, mundane, personal needs, self-preservation, invention. Esoteric, spiritual needs, deliverance from distress. Self-mastery and transcendence. In reverse, which it's not in reverse, which is good. Greed, excess, impatience, extinguishing of the inner fire. Now, the pursuit of happiness is not ignorable. But the limitations on material comforts and luxuries must be recognized in order for the questioning soul to seek deeper nourishment. And that's what I mean by, really wanting to pour your energy into something, looking at the reality that, maybe some of you have had a circumstance in your life that you've been, in hermit mode, holding the torch and going, is my knight in shining armor going to come? Are we doing this project together? Are we making these decisions jointly? But there's something on each side at the moment that is directly being reshuffled, and I kept seeing puzzle pieces. It's almost like Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall, and then, the pieces are being put back together again, but it will never be the same again. It's different, but it's our ego is telling us that difference and that transformation, and what we're physically seeing on the 3D realm means that it's not going to be better than what we thought. It's actually going to be quite worse, so to speak. But it's divinely guided. It is there to push us. And this is a pivotal year when it does come to transformation. So please do trust the actual physical process of what's being moved around. Now, next month, we're having Juno go retrograde, which is connected to Divine Feminine. And in my twin flame path, what I've noticed is as Juno goes retrograde, there can be changes and there can be circumstances where masculines and feminines can come back. They can have a shift. They can go into separation. So it's shifts, but it's all there for the bigger purpose. And it's if you've got attachment energy, it can be harder. But nevertheless, there appears to be, this is a very positive year, but initially we're not seeing that at the moment. So what's happening at the moment is with the new moon in Pisces, it's giving us a bird's eye view. So you might have had a lot of bird totems coming through. You're getting to the point where you're trying to see something from the higher perspective, which is very crown chakra and nature. When it comes to feeling maybe left out in the cold, the way things are, kind of being transmuted towards you, how the other person is seeing things. And it's to do with the relevancy of separations and unmotivation. Oh, there's 2 cards there. Interesting. Okay, so relationships, that of the past, that of what you've had before. And what it's doing is returning you to love, right? It's going to return you to your passion in life. Some of you in a frequency can be with the... We've been bringing this up for a while, Giggle. It sounds funny. It's in the pursuit of happiness, yes. Well, the pursuit of happiness, this is what we have to understand with Saturn. This is a huge opportunity for all of us collectively. The last time was eons ago. So as much as we do look at twin flame path, we're twin flames and we all have soul purposes. So part of this destiny that we're moving into at the moment, Saturn, the Lord of Restriction, was showing us by being leveled up, addressing things, you will get a lot done and you're going to get a lot out of it for the rest of your life. And that's this year setting up your direct foundation. And that's for feminines and masculines. And I'm going to channel the energy for masculines and show you where they're at as well as feminines. So at the moment, there's a bit of a pause. It's a calm before the storm, but the storm is you bringing those tower moments in of what you feel doesn't resonate with you and what you need to shift around. Now, Jupiter, on the other hand, the planet of expansion, sometimes can get to a point where it rushes in where fools rush in. But this is showing us both with the responsibility and the structure and keeping the bigger picture in mind, we can have that expansion. The hard part is because we have the North Node in Gemini, we're absorbing and getting all of these psychic downloads, but we're also getting sidetracked. So we need to be careful that we actually don't get to a point where, you're going into the chit-chat frame, you're not addressing your responsibilities during the day. There's avoidance energy there at the moment. But at the moment, there is a lot of meditation to do with, okay, what is this bigger picture that you're actually wanting? What are you needing to address right now? Is it home? Is it accommodation? Is it finances? Is it your health and your well-being? But it was really showing a lot of us healthy boundaries that we needed to put there. What maybe wasn't your storyline anymore with circumstances and people in your life, and how you can move that situation around to get the best out of it, where you're potentially being standing in your way. Now, with Venus and Aries, it's passion. The beautiful thing is, over the next 2 weeks, there's gorgeous aspects that helps us look at it from our first place. Now, what do I mean by that? First house placement is in astrology, and especially for Aries, they do things quite innately. So we're having the full moon in Libra coming up, and a lot of us are embodying that. We've got half of the Pisces energy, the dream, and then getting disillusioned. How do we do that to bring that into balance? It's almost like it probably won't make sense completely straight away. It's intuitive in nature, and we're starting to develop that trust in the intuitive energy, in the nothing ventured, nothing gained, and trying things new, trying things from an intuitive level. Okay, I've got this problem. How can I shift things about? Now, the discord is because you're wanting some sense of direction, and that's for both masculines and feminines. There's this need for direction, and it's almost like, you know, I use the analogy, feeling lost in the woods, not quite knowing why you're feeling quite foreign. And I do call this point, especially in astrology, you'll energetically feel as though you're having a soul walk-in. So it's the death of your old life. It's a brand new beginning. You know you don't resonate with the old version of the storyline, especially in the twin flame connection, but it's what's new and trusting that process. Wounds will come up, but Saturn, the Lord of Restriction, is making beautiful aspects to Chiron and Aries, the wounded healer. So we individually will be able to find a way to work beyond that point and not allow ourselves to stay stagnant. Now, there's a lot of reflection. I feel both parties are really having the courage to move forward, but you've kind of taken a pause. You've taken a pause in a sense of really looking at, you know, who you're mixing with, who needs to go, who doesn't relate to you, what doesn't relate to you in a relationship sense. Sagittarius is very, and because Juno's in Sagittarius, both feminines and masculines have that energy there, where we're physically looking at a different way of being inside of a connection. And definitely the first wavers were very much the innovators of change when it came to breaking down the paradigms of traditional connections. Now, even my daughter brought this up this morning, and she's an Aquarian, and she says it's quite a cliche to believe, and this was coming out of the veins of a babe, to believe that every feminine or masculine wants the white picket fence, babies, you know, and it's not to say that we don't get that. It's more that if we are looking at everything very fixated in tunnel vision, the things, what I've noticed in my path is 9 times out of 10 when I had a very fixed perspective, when I got what I thought I wanted, I didn't want it. And it wasn't that I was being bratty. It was like, wow, that, you know, the dream, which is a, what would I say? It's very Neptune and Pisces. I believe that would make me happy. And then you get it and you're like, okay, not necessarily. You don't know unless you've got it. Okay? So moving through that, the people we're moving away from, we're no island, okay? We do need energies, but it's you'll energetically come to a space through your ascension where initially you will go into hermit mode, and it will feel like universe has abandoned you and nobody's there for you, and it'll be no mother, no father, no friends, maybe not even your children. But it's not always, and not everyone's journey goes that way, but it will feel psychologically that you have been abandoned. So moving through that Pisces phase has been bringing up abandonment issues inside of everyone collectively in slight ways. The reason it had to come up is so that you don't need outside of yourself, and then you are more able to give, but it's through choice over I'm playing chess. If I do this, it means that. And that's why it's very intuitive. And we're learning how to be that intuitive energy. And I'd really say that at the moment, moving through the Pisces moon, moving towards the full moon in Libra, it's almost like you need to be looking at it from a very balanced. It's a bit like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know, spice of life, so to speak. So I'm seeing that both feminine and masculine are looking at, you know, some of the hopes and dreams and plans, you know, what that meant. And the funny thing is when we go into abandonment, we need to then look at, okay, where have I, and I mentioned this on Facebook. Now, I did a mini read on Facebook, and it was more a chat than anything. It's because obviously I was purging too. I have Libra in my chart. And I was like, right, I'm moving through this energy so I can serve the collective effectively. And being over there was quieter, so I was able to transmit it. So feel free to go and have a look at that video. And it was to do with the fact that through that process, there was a lot of purging. It was also to do with the fact that, you know, what we would send a song to a person of usually is what we need to be singing to ourselves. So that of feeling abandoned, we need to then look at our life and go, okay, for integration purposes, to see what's going on with this twin, because you've got to remember, twin flame path is about getting into yin and yang, and we're always falling out of it. It's not, we don't need to be perfect, but it's to be able to self-master and manage so that when you do dip, you know, you're going to come back and you're going to be fine. So the abandonment energy is almost like your oversoul is saying to you, whoa, 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 listen, something's up in the hood. Where have you not been paying attention to yourself? Where have you given to others and you're forming resent, but you haven't been feeding your own soul? And that's really a huge message that was coming through for me in my spiritual path of ascension. So with these hopes and dreams, I feel both masculines and feminines are reflecting about each other. They're both simultaneously thinking about each other, thinking about interferences and how hard they've had to work, how they've been trying to move forward. And it feels very bittersweet, I would say. Bittersweet in a sense of, you know, wanting the freedom. And they're moving towards freedom. Both energies are moving towards freedom. I would say masculine also is looking at situational shifts in their life. That's really fatiguing them. And as they get fatigued, you guys are going to feel funky. So a lot of the purge, a lot of feminines had already embodied 2-3 weeks ago, and it's coming back again. And it was through that Pisces moon you were getting very tired. It's due to the fact that divine masculine is removing the ego connected to a similar circumstance that you've been through so that they can choose more effectively of what is right for them. Look, they're really coming through very passionately, and I do feel there's a lot of passion here, but I do feel both feminine and masculine are going to be very direct and firm. Feminines, I feel, with your work life, with the people that you're working around and dealing with, you're going to be very fiery. So we do need to really self-master and be cautious about pouring that energy into something very beneficial, especially since Mars currently is in Gemini. So we can be very throat chakra orientated, and we need to be really journaling and looking and trying to communicate effectively, but being very firm with ourselves that we're going to achieve the goals that we set out to do. So with this outspoken energy, if somebody is trying to manipulate you or anything to that degree, which I can see is a potential, you're really seeing the writing on the wall. And it could even be the fallacies you're trying to tell yourself that, okay, those things that I was going to address, so I don't need to address, it'll be fine. And remember, universe always gives you 3. It's the term of 3, and the reason I say that it's a near miss, it's the epiphany. Psychic energy Pisces, then you get the near miss. And then if you still are in your knowingness and you don't directly address it, you end up getting shoved. And we will be having Pluto go retrograde next month. So the lucky thing is we have all planets currently direct at this point. So give it a few days. And then what those areas are that you need to address in your life, actually start addressing them so that you can have that forward momentum and you will actually manifest. More than likely, a lot of you are going to start getting communication at this point, but you need to be spiritually ready, especially if you kind of are saying to yourself, I'm really ready for this. If you're trying to meditate upon how it will be, what they should say, what they would need to do, you've got too much attachment there, and no sooner do you actually detach from it, you'll have physical communication. But if you're trying to psychoanalyze it, wondering, or even looking at a karmic, for instance, as a block, you're actually purely going through that egoic purge still, and you could be a little bit too much in your masculine, not your feminine. Pour that masculine thought process of doing the work for them over into your physical life, and you'll create that balance coming back. Okay, so there is a lot of throat chakra coming here, but I do feel this, you're going to have this very passionate feeling, and for many of you, especially feminines, I wouldn't be surprised if when you're talking about your masculine or you're feeling about your romantic partner, you can be very passionate and assertive with it, but we need to just, you know, get to a grounded space. But I do feel masculines potentially are having fights with individuals or even not talking to them point blank zero. And that's because they're in this mindset that they're being mindful that they will actually Mars somebody. So let's have a look. Yeah, there's issues at home at the moment. I do feel, and this can be on both sides, but I feel it's more something to do with the home environment, something to do with seeing the distance and it actually going somewhere. It feels like it's come to a halt. And this is in the past position, ironically enough. They're also thinking back to maybe to do with movement and moving with you. Hi. They're also not seeing the value in, you know, investing in things where other people aren't invested in them. So they're really, really second guessing this. They're looking at it and thinking, okay, and this can be their job. This can be a karmic relationship. This can be the attitude they're taking towards their forward movement. But there's something to do with them actually creating distance at the moment so that they can actually tune into a solution. Now, the outspoken energy is, you know, to take their power back. Really being quite direct as to what's right for them. And I do feel some of them are actually having conversations with individuals and speaking their truth. This can be, look, this doesn't resonate with me. Yeah, seeing the truth of it. And, you know, almost calling a person out on a lie that, you know, it's not a one-sided transaction here. They're taking responsibility with Saturn, but they're also looking at their spirituality. It's like, okay, I'll adhere to my responsibilities. For some, that can be financially. For some, it can be needing to tie up a loose end, you know, speaking to a person, cutting a job off, or adhering to what they're needing to do. So they're taking the Saturn responsibility, but they're not letting it own their soul. So they're having the yin and the yang. I won't do this if I can't grow, and if this doesn't resonate with me, you know, it's not a death certificate. It's a responsibility. I'll address that. I also think feminines are looking at this as well, but this is going to be coming up in the next 2 weeks. There's been a bit of a bump in the road, and I think this bump had put, like, there was movement and then it kind of stalled, and there might have been some sense of a commitment that came up. And maybe even just a meditated state, and especially for both twins, I think collectively, there was a bit of a pause moving in and out of that Pisces moon, and I think the momentum will start shifting, but we're still absorbing it like a sponge. So there is this sense of maturity coming through. And it is to do with our emotions that are going to cause that fresh start. Okay, something's going to move very quickly. I really see this moving really quickly on both sides. So I don't think many of you, you know, whatever this discord is, by tackling it head on, and that's on both sides of the fence, this is what's preparing you for the future. So I do feel after Divine Masculine's purge and fatigue energy that they're moving through at the moment, there is almost this great clarity that comes in the next week, I would say. And I even feel the next few days. It doesn't feel that far away, because we do have Mercury direct in Aquarius. So it's really applying those areas. It can be, again, you know, Mars energy conversational pieces. As we move into Mercury in Pisces, it can be very confusing. So try not to put too much pressure on yourself to understand all of it right away. Just allow the intuitive nature of things to come through. But you could get very dazed and confused. You could get very fatigued and foggy, and that's for everyone collectively. So as that shifts out of Pisces, cognitively speaking, you'll be more coherent to be able to do it. So you'll probably be away with fairies for a few days. Okay, sacrifices. Letting go always brings it in. I'm telling you, it sounds strange, but it's an egoic purge. Once you purge a perspective or a perception, it kind of shifts it about, and I see that actually happening. This love is coming. It is there, but we have to address those of who are manipulating us, and that can be our thoughts, our mindsets. Feminines, you guys are up in your head at the moment. Some of you are having nightmares. Some of you are actually having energies come into your dreams. You need to clear your bedroom. You need to put tumble on, you know, do a grid like Giggle talked about, which I will do videos on that, how to actually prepare your bedroom, especially at a point in hermit mode and separation, how to prepare that bedroom, because that bedroom's pivotal for you through your ascension symptoms, so that you don't have these energies to actually come in. And I will do coaching relating to that inside the member zone as well. Okay, so that's going to pass, but at the moment it's some of you can be either going into very, very heavy sleep, or and again, nightmares and things to that degree. Okay, this individual here, the masculines, whatever they were connected to before, due to a circumstance that's happening externally, it's like they're really pausing it. They feel they went into a situation where angels fared to tread. Okay? And they're not really enjoying it. They're like, oh, I don't think this resonates with me right now. But they definitely don't want to be bringing that drama to you. They're like, this hasn't come together. So they're actually healing over a circumstance that they really weren't connected to. But for some unknown reason, which is part of their twin flame path, it was to help them heal. But they took it on a little bit like a full-time job, but it was merely to heal and nest, not stay. So the difficulty is this, and for some of them, they were trying to tie these loose ends up relating to it, but it hadn't come to an end, and it had it had delayed the journey, but they're back on that movement now. They're shifting things about. They had to address things, and that's where the communication potentially has been a little bit stagnant, because there has been circumstances relating to past energies that they've had to shift around. It's almost like, you know, seeing the error of their ways. You know, the fortune, oh, okay. And maybe even a person wanting them for their money, wanting them for something very separate to love. It was, you know, it's a contract. It's an energy. There's codependency for you. That's why feminines, we can't be codependent. Because they've had a lot of that, shadow, and so have we. Lost faith in it, separations, no room for growth, and not a happy situation. Feminines, what's coming up for you guys? I feel it's really weird. It's like that some of them may still be in a connection, but there's very little contact. There's very little communication. It's ghosting. But it's based on a lot of drama that has occurred where that they physically, it's almost like a little bit like PTSD. That's how it's feeling. Not that I'm a doctor, but that's how the energy is feeling psychically. PTSD, fatigue, trying to come to terms with it. Sometimes these individuals that come through aren't directly even currently in their life. They're a memory. Yeah, so they're waiting to get their kind of crap together, but it's not really theirs. It's all this energy of tying up of loose ends. I do feel there's a bit of financial outlay at the moment, and that's fatiguing them. Plus, if they're working extremely hard, some of them are looking at their job and location and where to go. They know you're waiting. They're kind of mad at themselves for this. They're looking at like, yes, I know. But it's something they don't want to drag you into at this point. That does appear to be quite messy. And I'd say at the moment where they stand, I'd say give it 3-4 days and there should be a bit of a shift in it. But you guys, you know, you're going into this, and the reason you're feeling the way you do at the moment potentially is because when we're tapping into shadow energy, which is masculine energy, right? It's what their vibration is. They're dealing with conflicts surrounding them, but you're sort of feeling this is futile. This isn't working. But you're trying to get your vibration back up. But there's something to do with an imbalance and unhappiness. And I think on both sides we're having to address that. And yes, masculine is having ascension. Okay? And those of you that have been following me for a while, I do warn you about these transits. I do feel for many of you, what you're not seeing is the transformations happening behind the scenes, and it's going to move quite quickly. I'm going to pull some love oracle cards. And we'll see what's coming through with them, if I can open them. Love oracle. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're too impressed with that. You know, they do miss you. They're very anxious. But they're also not in that space at the moment that they're wanting to, how do I put it? They're not trying to drag you into their drama. Especially if they're not liking it. They're like, why the heck would feminine like this drama? I don't even like it. It does feel drama. I don't even feel guilt associated with it. It's really strange. It's just silence. Yeah. Silence. Very hurt. Some of them are looking at a holiday. But the holiday is more like a psychological holiday. It's like, oh, I need a psychological holiday. Kundalini arising, okay? This makes sense. Venus and Aries. Okay. Both of you are in the waiting position. I don't know, giggle. You and I, if we were talking right now, we'd be laughing our heads off, remember? Okay, wait, don't rush into it, because both of you are having a soul walk and you're having an upgrade. So it's like, do I say something? You know, and depending on where you are in the journey, but universe is making both of you wait. It's like, oh, wait, don't move. Don't make any rash decisions, especially now void moons, as Giggle said. It's like, you know, it's not a good time, even though it's a new moon, watch for void moons. Wait, absorb it like a sponge. Give it a couple of days as we're moving forward, especially those of you that are Aries and Leo and Aquarius. You know, a lot of energy that come through. We need to absorb, all of us collectively, that Mercury retrograde and just go, what the heck just happened? It's direct, yes. And then we had the Pisces moon. So it's crown chakra. Keep your fluid up. Clear your house. Tidy your house up. Throw things out that don't resonate. Prepare for that new. I would say definitely energy-wise, that detox. But keep your fluid up. Because the psychic attacks will come if you're not hydrated. Okay, a lot of reflection on the past to make sense of it so that we don't repeat mistakes. There is a lot of shadow work here between masculines and feminines. Give each other some space, because you're probably hex and beast each other right now. Because if we have abandonment wounds and they're like, I need to abandon a situation because I've abandoned myself, then both of us aren't really going to be in the greatest vibe. And those of you that are together, which I do coach for all, again, you'll find you're just very more reflective, giving each other space, because you're energetically always tuned in. You're always in alignment, especially the more into alignment you move, you kind of mirror each other and you just have that respect and rapport. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. Okay, whatever went down in the past, it's going to work itself out. At the heart of it, the thing was, I feel for many of you, you may have felt that energy a few weeks ago and now it seems a bit stagnant. Acceptance is the key. That's so true. Purging through the ego, you totally get to this insane control-related dynamic and it feels a bit crazy. Once you relax that ego and you move into acceptance, is relaxing. I'm telling you, you're like anxious, frightened, you know, all of those vibes, angry. Then you come to this, okay, I'm not going to think on it. I'm going to block it. Shh. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. And that was my saving grace. That helped my union, something chronic. Even in my union with circumstances that I just hated, and hate is a horrible word. My twin tells me that. Hate is a very strong word. It's a dislike. Not enjoy. Not attracted to. So, there is no point in trying to change that of what is beyond your control. And that's what I had to look at. So I looked at a circumstance at a time and I was like, and a friend of mine who's spiritual, when you're in your ego, even you know, coaches need coaching. I was like frustrated. I can't do this. This is driving me crazy. The circumstances are driving me crazy. And I sat with it and once I went into accepting who those individuals were, higher or lower frequency, whatever they are, God bless. And then accepted myself that I potentially was different, by no means perfect. Within 24 hours, and sometimes it was 4 hours, it would shift. You need to accept, stop trying to think of they're blocked, they're victims, they're this, they're that. Don't be angry. Move away from that. It's not going to help the movement and it's not going to help you, because then you're living with that host of that horrible energy inside you, and it's a process. So by no means am I telling you what to do or shading you. It's a process. It depends on where you are. So I would say the heart energy is moving into acceptance. What is balance? We're moving into the full moon in Libra. It's like, let it go. Sometimes the tower does actually create the balance. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. Heck, haven't I been telling myself that this week? You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. Is it your garden? Is it happiness that you don't have a karmic in your life and you're like, praise the Lord. Thank you. Lessons and blessings. Twin flame. Twin flame. Your passion ignites. I'm telling you, sacral chakra. So what's going is bringing it. Let go. This is the foundation. Be playful. Move into playful energy. I do feel between the both of you at the moment, what is going to come up is whatever you guys are clearing, whatever the 3D circumstances are, it's a soul healing. The heart of it, the past, present, future, is all to do with the egoic purge. The foundation is you and the friendship, the laughter. Laughter is the best therapy. Have some fun. And remember, love is the greatest healer. And both of you are remembering not only the bad times, but the good times. And I think sometimes we need to move into the vibration of just energy. Sexual union. Okay? But it's passion. You must have passion in your life to bring that energy together. Because both of you, it's almost like, so I had my daughter's boyfriend say something. My twin course. And both of us, we were talking to her and her partner, and he made this comedy analogy, happy wife, happy life. And I said, no, that's not your job to make a woman or a man happy, okay? It's nobody's job to make anyone happy. And the reason is this. Did I employ, which technically, I mean, I could pay him. He is a comedian. Did I pay my twin to be my therapist or a clown? You know, to entertain me, to make me happy? No, because I have my own hopes and dreams. You know, over the weekend I did some gardening. I got grounded because my energy was calling upon it. And just connecting with nature, that was my happiness. And he came out and he says, Stel, what are you doing? And I went, I'm gardening. I'm happy. I.e., it's not a drama. I'm not trying to keep myself busy for the sake of it. I'm not in avoidance of my soul. I'm actually physically doing something that makes me happy. And he went, I'm glad. And he did something he liked. My daughter did something she liked, and I did what I liked. And we didn't bug each other. And then we enjoyed an afternoon on the courtyard. No telephone the whole day, which was bliss, because you need to be connected at times. And that's the good old North Node in Gemini. So, scarred union, what is your soul purpose right now? I feel some of you, all of us were destined for grand things. This is what you've got to understand on a twin flame path. You're destined for grand things. But no man or woman is an island, and you mustn't second guess yourself. You're not in competition with karmic. You never were. When we do that, it's for different reasons, which I'll coach at a different time. It's not going to serve it at this point. But the thing is, you need to see the light inside yourself and everything you're worth. And I mean, I would get to a point that I'd say to myself, why wouldn't he want to be with me right now? I mean, because all of that energy over there is hell, and I didn't like it, so why the hell is he going to like it? So it was like, grab a pina colada, sit back and relax and enjoy your most peaceful, blissful, perfect life. Peaceful, blissful life. You can only work with people who work with you, and you can't force healing out of a person. So if you get angry, look at when you were really stuck. That's the best way. It's instead of moving into judgment, go into, where was I stuck in my life? Where was it really hell for me? And I got really stuck, and maybe I was codependent, and maybe there was a circumstance. As soon as you start moving into why is that not moving, you feel it's you. And, how is this going to affect you? There could be some other decisions you're wanting to make, and that's the hold-up. But the psychic energy makes it hard, guys. So, sometimes you have the intent to move forward, but the psychic connection's there. And that's a lot of what the hermit mode energy is to do with. It's to do with the fact that you're learning how to control energy, that you won't need to move people out of your life. You just won't spend time with the ones that you don't resonate with. It's not that you'll even think of them 2 seconds. It's that it doesn't resonate. So it's God bless, doesn't resonate. Any questions while I'm here? I can do 4 or 5 for super chats if there's anyone that has a question. We've kept it at $11.11. And we do, because we have the members zone for twins, and it's $11.11. So we've kept the super chat at that, and that's monthly, so it's a one-off fee. At the moment, because the room is pretty small, it's a small group, I do jump on more than once a month, and I tend to do sometimes mini reads for the groups that are in there. Sometimes I tune into their questions and answer their questions. And because it's a small room at the moment, it's not massive, like over 100, which is great. It's really private. We talk very candidly in there. If you do join us at the moment, some of them are actually getting personal readings, and they're mini reads, mini coaching reads. But anywho, any questions for Super Chat? Otherwise, I will love you and leave you, and I'll get back onto the romance reads. Now, I'm trying to record the romance reads, which they'll be mini punchy reads, and it's energy, okay? That is going to be per zodiac sign. And at the moment, the way it's going to be once a week. And then there'll be the astrology, there'll be the moon energy. You'll get all of those energy updates. At the moment, I'd fully say that I would say there's going to be a bit of movement. So I'll come back in about 3 days. We're going to check that before the weekend, and we'll check it after the weekend as well. We do have spaces next weekend for personal bookings, but you better get in because I have a lot of it's filled up. It's filling up quick, and I have blocked spaces out to do the recordings to get ready. Any super chats? I will love you and leave you. I have the videos to do, so we will have weekly energy updates per zodiac. You'll have the extension. Yeah, in the members zone, you've got the first tier, which is twin flame coaching. None of those videos get shared. You then get the pre-release content. So as I'm doing the folders for numerology for twins, twin flame stages, working with energy, all of those creative content videos I'm going to start. That until that folder's full, it will remain in the second tier members. Once it's filled up and it's ready, it's been all edited, it'll be launched onto YouTube. And then the third tier is all the extension reads, which is sun, moon, rising. You'll get your zodiacs, you'll get your astrology, and you'll get all the extension reads, and it's for a one set fee. So they're there. If you want to have a look, great. If you don't, I understand. Otherwise, you still get all the content. But you do get additionals in there. Any questions in the house? So yes, shifting things about. Twin flame videos on here will continue to be live. They will be the remaining energy live. Otherwise, if there's an energy update or I want to have a chat about something in interviews and things like that, they will come to the channel, also potentially live. But other than that, I'm getting ahead of my pre-recordings. What zodiac are you? Let me have a look at your chart. Well, Mercury's direct at the moment, right? So it does make it easier. And especially if you feel it's really toxic. Your career sector is really highlighted at the moment. Let's have a look. Okay, when we have Pluto go retrograde, it does affect your 5th house. Now, for career, I'm not surprised because you had Aquarius in your 6th house. So if you felt that there was too much responsibility, you weren't able to break that glass ceiling, and you were looking at those circumstances, it might have been pretty tense, especially if it felt quite burdensome. If it's affecting your health, do something about it. Okay? Thanks, Leo. Nix. Now, as to, your contract sector, the good thing is marriages, contracts, partnerships is in the new moon in Pisces. So from a career sense, where you get your money from, between the Pisces moon and the Libra moon on both sides are all to do with your career as well as relationships. So it's rational that it will be coming through in your chart. So it's a good time if you feel, that's so. But definitely with the full moon in Libra, you'll be tying up a lot of bills. Where your income's coming from, if you've had issues and you felt, hey, I'm not getting paid my worth, you'll potentially find that should start shifting about. But you will have luck there after that full moon, but you can still put your resumes out. Just make sure if you feel it's not for you, start networking and actually doing it now, because you want to set the whole year. This technically in astrology is that new year point. having all planets direct us now to react. It's like, right, okay, I want to move that energy around. This is what I need to address. But it can be a new source of income coming in, one stream of income leaving, and another stream of income coming in. Does that make sense, my sweet? Yeah, just move, Dale. If you know it is, just don't delay it, because this is your long-term goal. So if you feel it's toxic, move. So it does make sense. For Virgos at the moment, you guys had a lot of health energy coming up. And so you have to be relevant to where you are. If you feel you can't see it going the distance, it's almost like, it's almost like that amputation needed. It's like, why would I continue to do this? Is it about the money? Is it health? You had 6th house placement. Now, this is the house of 6th house is connected to the house of hidden enemies. It's like sometimes we're our own worst enemy. We don't want to address the devil in the detail, and we're looking at it. Now, when Pluto goes retrograde, it could affect your creativity. Your productivity, your creativity, and you're really wanting to have a work-life balance, and you're feeling, if you're thinking about work when you come home, that's problematic. And that's what I always say to individuals. It's like, okay, a lot of us are working from home. How can you create a separateness and create that structure where you can have work and home, but, having that healthy boundary between the two polarities so that you can check off. You know what I mean? Any other questions, my darlings? I hope that helped, but you could have luck. So with that recruitment energy between now and the full moon in Libra, that's okay, Del. You'll find that you can physically have some movement, and it will be a new stream of income, a new way of having income. And it'll be more balanced than what the previous was. You probably end up getting more money, crazy enough. Especially because we have all planets direct, and we've got Jupiter in Aquarius. The other thing I can say about it is, if you've got great references, it's really going to go in your favour. Keep it nice. Don't burn bridges. Keep it nice. Say you need to move location. I had to move location, sorry. Something come up. Thank you, Leonix. Thank you all. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to get into the next zodiac. I'm going to try and have these up in the next 3 days for the romance. And I'll also have the other ones ready to go for, you'll probably get 2 sets of videos, providing I can get these all done with bookings. But it is going to be, they're going to be really mini reads. They're going to be punchy to the point, any energy that's coming in. And then you'll have your extension should you need it. But you'll know roughly what's happening through each zodiac sign, and it will be weekly. So they're shorter, but it means they're more manageable for me, listenable to you. And then long coaching sessions will be, I'll have moon energies, but I'm doing creative content. So it's one way I can create that balance, but they're punchy reads. They're straight to the point of the energy that's coming through. And that they give a bit of coaching, and I do mention the transits slightly, but it's very much to the point of what the energy is surrounding your zodiac sign, and they're weekly, so you get 4 videos for your zodiac sign on top of your moon energies and astrology. Okay? Haven't missed anyone, Google. I'm leaving the house. Again, if you do want a booking, the link is directly below. Thank you for all of you who liked the video. I do feel with the energy at the moment, it is a bit of a shift, and I do think it's going to settle down and we'll have some sense of clarity. Again, if I do get a download and I do need to tune into it, I will come to you again for that. So just stay tuned. But generally, it's every Friday. I come to you guys live, but sometimes, so pretty much you can note it down in your diary. It'll be in the morning for me in Australia. And for you guys in America, it will be evening. So it'll be like early evening. You know what I mean? So it's roughly around Friday I come on, and I will be back again on Friday. Did you want to read, Leo, next? Did you want a card, my love? I've got good energy around you, though. You're making things, you're the mover shaker. And Leo, so far your energy is looking very growth orientated over the next 6 weeks, because the first one I've done is Leo. Interesting transition. no, maybe so. We'll keep these short and sweet so people aren't like, huh? What's going on with this video? I had Adam say that to me the other day. He's like, you know, if I see the longer video, Yildiz, I wait till I'm home and then I can listen to it. I was like, bless. Bless. Big shout out to Adam. Anywho, love you and leave you.